Good morning, Master Builders. Good morning. I apologize, but good morning, everyone. Welcome to Master Builders this morning. We're so glad that you could join us this morning. We're excited for the forum this morning, Building Your Business Blueprint. We hope that everybody has their pen and a paper ready so that if you're starting your business or if you're already in the business and just trying to figure out what things you need to do, that you will have these notes from these very educated and well-versed individuals who have already started a business or had a business or has a business already. So just like we start anything, we want to start out in prayer because as the Bible says itself, if you seek the face of the Lord first, then all other things will be added to you. So if you can all just bow your heads and close your eyes with me, we can go ahead and begin. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for bringing us all here this morning to be able to understand and get the information that you have for us. Lord, we know that you want us to have a productive and use our gifts for your purpose, Lord. So we know that we have hands in everything, oh God, in business and investment and in real estate, Lord God. But as we are looking to start our business, Father, we ask that you just shine your face upon us, oh God, as we're trying to do these things. Give us that motivation, give us the wisdom, give us your understanding and counsel with everything that we do. Just ask you to guide us in our businesses. If we have fear before we start, Lord God, we ask you to just counsel it out and give us that courage to be able to go forth and do the things that you have called us to do. Lord, touch our hands, that if anything that we touch in any investment, any person, anybody we get into business with, that it also be fruitful for us, but not just us, but anybody around us, so that we can be a blessing to those around us, our families, our friends, our community. We thank you for everything that you've done for us, and we give you glory and honor for everything that you're going to do with us. And we thank you, Lord, for the business that you've been put into us so that we can put into the world. In Jesus' name we pray. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Welcome, Master Builders Academy. We are back at it. I hope you are ready. Hope you got your pen, your pad, your digital notepad, your iPhone, wherever you taking notes. Get ready to build your business blueprint on today. But what we're going to start off with is what we always start off with. It's the principles. It's the things that we walk by and live by here at Master Builders, the things that make this organization so special, unique, and the thing that is blowing so many people up personally, professionally, and financially. It starts off with our mission statement. Developing people. Come on, say it with me. Put it in the chat. Developing people, building businesses, and establishing financial futures. That's what we do here. It doesn't matter where you're starting from. It's that we know that where you're at right now is not where you can be in the future, and that everything is possible. Everything is on the table right now. And that's why our vision at Master Builders Academy is inspiring communities to achieve intellectual and economic renaissance. That means you, that means your family, that means your children, that means their children to come. And so I would love for you all to engage with me right now in our MBA core values. There's 10 of them. Somebody say 10. 10 core values. If you walk with these core values in your everyday life, I don't care if you in owning your own business, if you're an investor, guess what? You might be a student. You may even just be working your first job ever or been a long time person on a job. If you start walking in these 10 things, it's going to completely change the trajectory of everything that you're doing. I guarantee it because I can testify to it to myself and many others as well. Number one, don't be afraid to chat it. Chat your favorite one as we're going through it. Be punctual. Number two, be dependable. Number three, be excellent. Number four, be detailed. Number five, be passionate and motivated. Number six, this is my favorite. Somebody put my favorite in the chat. Be optimistic and positive. Number seven, be hungry and studious. Number eight, be supportive. Number nine, be benevolent. And number 10, be ethical. Fantastic. So the challenge here is that as we build our business blueprint, the challenge for each of us today is to develop our own set of core values. Now, I said yes if you follow those core values of MBA, it'll take you to the next level. But if you want to go to the stratosphere that only you were designed, appointed, and anointed to go to, you are going to need to develop your core values that you personally walk by, live by, and apply to yourself personally, professionally, and in business, etc. The definition of core value, now it's time to write and take some notes if you haven't already. Core values are the basic elements of how you go about your work. It's the basic elements of how you go about your work. They are practices we use every day in everything we do. And so core values create discipline and consistency, which is key to us being able to our personal development, our business development, and it's definitely key for each of us being able to establish the financial futures of ourselves and our family. And so I'm going to share with you right now. See, man, now, Master Builders, we share our whole life. And so now I'm opening up the core values. I'm opening up the stuff that I personally have harvested during the time that I've been at Master Builders. Past these 10, these are my core values and the things that shape the way my lens and the things I approach personally, professionally, and of course in business. So change is always easy when it's your idea. And I'm not going to even tell you all what this stuff means to me because I would take way too long. This would be a whole forum right here. But I'm just giving you that's a nugget. Change is always easy when it's your idea. Untried. Trying is lying. Somebody tell you they trying, guess what? They lied to you. Tell the truth, even when it hurts. You always find time for things that are important to you. Every single time. You always find time for things that are important to you. Say yes until you have to say no. So have a yes in your spirit. You beat half the people just by showing up. Just show up and you'll beat half the people. Every action is purposeful. Oh man, that's heavy right there. Oh, attitude reflects leadership. Come on, somebody did. Attitude reflects leadership. Mm-hmm. Come back with results and not a story. You must plant seeds to harvest. This hill I want to die on. You can be dead right. Oh man. Oh man. Goodness gracious. Guess what? You can steal stuff as you go through Master Builders. And here's I'm gonna give you my last two, but don't put all your basket and follow one course until successful. That's what I've harvested during my time at Master Builders, because I've been receptive. My ears have been perking up for things that have helped to mold me, and I can repeat in my head and help me to make decisions in my life and better decisions than I've ever made. So I challenge you today, as you go through this Master Builders Academy today, is don't just listen for the content and the things that are going to help you grow your business from a technical aspect. I want you to start listening for those golden nuggets that you can apply to create your own personal list of core values. And so I'm so excited that we have a special guest speaker here today, Miss Rhonda Jones. Okay, so you're not just getting just regular Master Builders. Now you're getting real, authentic, bona fide, certified business coaches. She joined the Kentucky Small Business Development Center in Louisville's team in 2020 as an expert in financial analysis, business management, and sales. Rhonda earned her MBA from Bellarmine University right here in Louisville, as well as a professional certification from American College of Financial Services. Ms. Jones has previous experience working with the Kentucky Small Business Development Corporation, but most recently with R.R. Jones and Associates. And we are so blessed and honored to have you, Rhonda. So thank you so much. You're up, and we're glad to have you. Hey, we can't hear you, so we want you to come off of mute for us.
Oh, I'm sorry. Apologize. Okay, thank you, Mr. Mays. I really thank you for that wonderful introduction. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here, and I really appreciate the opportunity. Thank you, Bridget, for reaching out to ask me to be here with you all today, and Keisha and everyone. I just really appreciate the opportunity. It's always great to connect with positive people who have a vision, who are going somewhere. So today, I was asked to speak on creating a business plan. And I'm a coach with the Louisville Small Business Development Center. And what we do at the Small Business Development Center is our mission is to help small business people, entrepreneurs, to either get their business started or to help them expand their existing business or to purchase certain existing business. And we also help people to get the loan packages together, as far as writing your business plan, getting your financial projections, and doing the marketing research. Last year, we helped, even during the pandemic, we helped small business people to acquire $20 million in loans to get their business started. And so far, we've helped small businesses to acquire $10,000. So we are really serious about helping small businesses, because it's very essential to our economy. When you have a small business, they create jobs, and for people who normally may not be eligible to or able to get into a big corporation. So it's really important. Okay, so I just wanted to share with you the hard truth about writing a business plan. Okay, I don't really know how to go to the next screen, so I guess the next slide. Okay. And I can't see it. Okay, it's just a little bit about the Small Business Development Center. We've been having small businesses since about 1986. And that's just the team there, the other coaches and the director who are dedicated to helping small businesses. Next one. Okay, so today we'll just talk about developing a business plan, the business plan canvas, the business plan financials, and your financial plan, and funding your business and determining your funding needs. I hope you can see that it's very small. I can't see it very well. Let me just try to make it bigger. Let's see, okay. Okay, so whenever you want to, people come to us and say, hey, I want to start a business, or I want to get a loan or a grant to start a business. The business plan is very essential if you're trying to get funding. It's very essential even if you're not trying to get funding, because if you're going to really have a successful business, you need a plan. You need a strong plan, you need a detailed plan. And in the business plan, there's really basically three components. It's the background, the market analysis, and the financial projections. And the background is just going to tell you it's going to really talk about the management team, and you are part of the management team. So you really want to talk about your successes, your strengths, anything you've accomplished, any degrees or certifications you may have. And also you want to talk about your personal needs and also the legal structure that you choose, which we will get into later. But the first thing you want to do when you write a business plan is really do your market analysis. And you want to really do serious research on your market. So you want to actually, they can see how the market is doing. And also you want to determine at least 3 of your competitors. And I tell my clients, I say, if you're trying to maybe open up, I don't know, maybe a nail salon, I'm not sure, just for example, you need to choose the three of your top competitors that you consider that are your competitors, and you need to know your competitors inside and out. And we'll get into that a little bit later as well. And so you want to also create your financial projections, which we will help you with that. And so these are basically, they are projections, they are estimates, but these financial projections that we're going to do are really based on the marketing research that we've done, because we've researched the market, we know our market share, we have identified our customers, we identified the characteristics of our customers, and with all that information, all that market research, we're going to take that to back up to make our financials realistic. So next, please. Oh no. Next screen, please. Next slide. Okay, thank you. Okay, so like I said before, we go back one, please. Thank you. Oh, the next one. Okay. Where it says the SWOT analysis. I'm sorry, I'm not able to control the, go back one, please. Okay, thank you. So like I had mentioned before, that you want to know your competitors. And so it's called a SWOT analysis. I'm sure you all have heard of this before. But what you really want to do is when you choose those three competitors, you want to look at those competitors, and you really want to see their strengths. Okay, what are their strengths? And also, you want to see what their weaknesses are. And with those strengths, you know, that's basically like a threat to you. So you want to be able to identify how you will come against the strength of your competitor, and how you will also use the weaknesses to come up with opportunities for you. So if you may be providing something a little bit different than your competitor, so then you consider that an opportunity. You may have a higher quality product. You might want to consider that an opportunity. You might have a great product, but maybe you charge a little bit less. That may be considered an opportunity. And then if they're, you know, you need to also be able to identify the threats, even the threats against you, and how your strengths are going to come against those threats. So, but like I said, I tell my clients that you need to choose three competitors, and you want to know them like the back of your hand. You know how they package their products, or how their services are, what their reviews are, what they offer, and what they don't offer. And then you use that as an opportunity to fill in a gap. Okay. Okay, so once you do your research, you really want to know, when do you stop researching and start drafting a business plan? And so basically, you want to look at the competition, like we said, and direct, and also substitutes or indirect. And then the weaknesses and the customers and the costs, and the understanding that you know that you understand and know the business will not make you a millionaire overnight. A lot of people think they would make a lot of money, you know, really fast when you start a business, but you have to be patient. You may just break even, or you may even lose money the first couple of months. You want to be prepared for that. Okay, so this is just basically a sample business outline where you can first have your executive summary. Of course, you're going to write that last, because it's going to be a summary of your whole business plan. And then, so if someone wants to know, just get the basic ideas, what you're trying to do and accomplish, a lender or an investor can look at your executive summary and see what your ideals are, what your projections are. If they want more detail on those particular areas, they can step back into that particular component of the business plan. And then you'll have your summary, your business name, of course, the overview of your products, and your mission statement. Your mission statement is very important. You got to know your mission statement. Just a short, strong, mission statement? What are you trying to accomplish? What problems are you trying to solve? And then, of course, we kind of talked about the market analysis, where you're going to know those 3 to 5 competitors inside and out, and their weaknesses and their strengths. And then the products and services, you can explain how these will tie back into your market analysis. And then you can have to have a strategy as well. How you can get people to know that what you're doing. You know, a lot of people use social media today. Are you going to, do flyers? You're going to do ads. So what are you going to do? What are your strategies? And then you have to monitor those strategies. So if you have 3 or 4 strategies, you need to evaluate if those strategies are really profitable to your business, so you can adjust or maybe stop or even increase that particular strategy. The management and operational plan. So I had kind of mentioned before that you had to describe your team's experience, the strengths and job functions, and plans to fill in the gaps in management. And you can't do it all. So you have to have a team. I mean, you may not have a big staff at first, but you might have to start off by yourself. But eventually, as you grow, you're going to be able to create jobs, and you're going to help people to help you in different areas. And that's what's really great about being a client of the Small Business Development Center, is that we help you in different areas that, that are no cost to you. And then we'll do your financial projections and have a cash flow statement, income statement, balance sheet, etc. And so we're going to just go to the next page and see where you have the business model canvas. And so what you're going to do is, first of all, you're going to identify a problem, okay? And then you're going to provide a solution. And then of course, that solution, there's going to be alternatives, and you're going to figure out how you're going to come against that. So let's go to the next page, where you'll see it's highlighted. So the first part of your process, you're going to identify a problem, solution, and alternatives. So the problem will draw, you get this from the research, okay? When you research and you notice a problem, that there's something missing. And the solution is how the product or service serves the problem. And then also you have to realize, there are other alternatives. For example, like if you I have a client that is selling lip gloss. But she had to determine who else is selling lip gloss. And she makes her lip gloss, from home, and it's and people buy it, people buy her product and they love it, but she wants to expand. So if she's going to expand and compete against these other competitors, you have to determine, why would someone come and buy her lip gloss opposed to going to Walmart or Sally's Beauty Salon or Target or whoever sells those products. So you have to know, how they package it, how does their product compare to your product, who's your direct and indirect competitors. So the next section of the business plan model would be money and metrics, the next page. Okay, you have to determine in making your product or your service, you're going to have fixed costs and variable costs. So your fixed costs, of course, will be things that don't change, maybe your rent or utilities or your salary. But variable costs, that may depend on your inventory and what inventory that you may have, how many hours work per week. And what would be the total startup cost that adds up to all your expenses? So you have to think. So our job is to make sure that you are thinking about every possible expense that could occur. So when you go before a lender or you start a business, you say, oh, I didn't think about that. So it's really good to have someone to talk to. I only have 5 minutes to go. I'm running a little bit behind schedule, so I'm going to have to speed up a little bit. And then also to the next one, for the niche, value, and advantage and barriers to entry. You have to have a certain niche. You have to have maybe an unfair advantage. Maybe you have a secret ingredient or something that's patent that no one else has. So those are things that are unfair advantages to your advantage. And then marketing the customer. You have to realize who your customers are, really. So you might first start off with your family and friends, and then you might go to people that are referred to you. So you have to kind of just make a list of people who will support your business. And also you want to think about as well, when you're starting your business, you need to share that with your family and make sure there's no conflict. So you might be working extra hours and longer hours than normal. Your income may change. So you want to think about all those possibilities and support systems as well. And so if you go to the next page, it kind of gives you an example of the business plan canvas. It gives you, examples of a problem that you may identify, the solution, and what are the existing alternatives, key metrics, and unfair advantages or channels. So it kind of gives you a picture, a canvas, if you will, to see how this will work before you even start your business plan. So you can use this before you even start your business plan. And so when you do your business plan, you'll need 3 financial statements. You'll need your income statement, your balance sheet, your statement of cash flow. Of course, your income statement is just going to be it's going to be your revenue, your income that you make, and all your expenses. And then also, if you have a cost of goods sold, that would be on there as well. Your balance sheet, of course, is going to be what you owe and what you own. So it's your assets equals your liabilities plus your equity. And then the most important statement is the statement of cash flow. It summarizes the way the money comes in and out of your business. When you go to a lender, they're going to look at your cash flow statement. They're going to see if your cash flow is strong. So after cash going in, cash going out, at the end of the day, do you have cash to pay your bills? And then the next page, it shows you an example of an income statement. The next page will show you an example of a balance sheet. And then the next page will show you the cash flow statement. If you look at the bottom of the cash flow statement, it says cash on hand at the end of the month. This is what a lender looks at. Okay, we see that you have all these cash receipts and you have the cash paid out, but at the end of the day, do you still have cash to pay your bills? And then the next page kind of gives you an expense chart of accounts. And then we give you some pages for you to work on if you go a little bit further. So you can start, just practicing or when you start writing your business plan, you have a profit and loss statement, you have a cash flow statement, and a balance sheet you can start using. Okay, and the next page kind of tells you about the type of loans that are available. What's good about the Small Business Development Center is they can look at your particular situation and see your experience, your type of business, your background, and they can see what lender would really deal with you, because all lenders they have their niches, and so we know what lender may look at a restaurant, what lender may not look at a restaurant, what lender would look at a very small business or small loan, what lender will not. So it's good to have people who can put you in the right seat as far as talking to a lender. Okay, the next page you'll see on continue to go back to page 5, forward a little bit more. That's the cash flow. The next, okay, that's the balance sheet. And then, okay, go back one, please. Forward. Yes. And so when you go with lenders, when you meet with a lender, it's going to be the 5 C's. They're going to look at your capacity to pay the loan back, which is going to look at your financial statements. They're going to look at capital, which how much cash are you willing to bring to the table? So if you want a $50,000 loan, just be ready to at least have $5,000 to $10,000 to inject into your business. You have to have skin in the game. They're going to look and see if you have collateral. And then the conditions of the market of the industry you're going into. And they're going to look at you. I know you might be going in and say, I want my business, you might be an LLC, and then the business loan may be in your LLC, but they're really going to look at you as well. They're going to look at your character, see if you are focused on paying your bills on time, what type of person you are, because ultimately you are managing that business. And if you don't want to pay your personal bills, guess what? They're going to think you don't want to pay your bills for your business as well. And then the next page kind of tells you about grants. There are very few grants for people to start businesses. And if there are grants, they're more focused on technical areas or research, or maybe social issues. Like we had some grants available when they had the pandemic for businesses who have been in business for a couple of years. So, but people come to us all the time, oh, I want a grant to start a business. There aren't grants for you to start a business. There are grants usually for people who are already in business or have a specific problem that they're solving, like social issues. And so, but if you want to research grants, I did include a list of grants websites that you can go to and try to research for yourself and see if you can find something that will be appropriate for your business. And then you have your angel investors and venture capitalists. And then we have on the next page a business loan checklist, which you can kind of look at this to see whether or not you're ready to go before a lender. And some other forms that you can use, like determine your funding requirements. And then the next page kind of tells you about determining your requirements as far as sources of uses of funds. So for example, if you're going to go to a lender and you want to borrow $50,000, you have to have a detailed list of what you're going to use the money for. Maybe using 20 for working capital, 20 for equipment, 10 for supplies. So you want to be very detailed in what you're going to use the money for. But the bottom line is when you write a business plan, you have to have a passion for what you're doing. And you have to believe in what you're doing. You have to believe in yourself. You have to embody the belief and faith, because entrepreneurs are really are people of faith. They believe in what they're doing. They believe in themselves. They believe in their product or their services. They want to make a difference. They want to leave a legacy for their family. It's really a passion that you have to start a business. I've been in business for myself for 15 years. I have an insurance agency. So because I love selling insurance, it's not like work to me. When I sell insurance, it's not like a job. It's like, oh my gosh, I love doing this because I know that one day, possibly, that I'm gonna have to deliver a check to someone to make their life, even though they can't bring the loved one back, but it's a financial blessing or a love gift, if you will, when I deliver a check for a founder expense or to someone to keep their home when someone passes away, or just for them to have time to really get themselves together. Is just another worry that they don't have to consider. So whatever you do in your business, it has to be something that you love to do, that it's not like work, you just love it. So anyway, but thank you so much for having me today, and I appreciate it. And if you need assistance, please give us a call at the Small Business Development Center, and we'll be happy to be there for you.
Wow. Now I told you all that you were in for a fantastic treat right there. So thank you so much, Rhonda. Yeah, I'm getting questions that's coming to us. So hopefully you don't mind. I just got a couple questions here for you. I know that our members and whoever signed up on our email list, as a special treat, they're going to be able to get this PowerPoint, and this information that you shared with us, which is tremendous. And we thank you for being able to share that with us. But is there a website or a place where they can go, even as they're sitting, even now? Because there a place where they could get those forms and be able to check into some of these different things?
If they want some more information from me, they can just email me, or they can go to the Small Business Development Center website, or they can email me at rhonda.jones@uky.edu.
Okay, hold on. We got to put that in the chat now. You put yourself out there. So it's rhonda.jones@uky.edu. All right, so I want you all to make sure you check on that. And so that was a lot of information and a lot of different things that a lot of business people maybe don't always think about. Now, what if that was intimidating to a person? Well, how I know you see some people and then you tell them about these different things, it's intimidating. And they feel like, oh, well, I can't do it. And that becomes a barrier to a certain extent for people getting into the business. How have you been able to help people overcome the barrier of just feeling overwhelmed by some of those things that are needed to really establish a great, strong business?
It can be overwhelming. So I just say this, we're going to take one step at a time. And it's very important to take one solid step at a time, because you have to start off strong. But just, first of all, we happen with the market research. We were able to give you information on your market at no cost to you that you probably couldn't get unless you paid for it. And so if I work with a client and they're maybe in the daycare industry, or maybe starting a physical therapy business or whatever, I'm able to give them the industry information at no cost and help them to analyze it and to see if it is a good idea, because you may get into it and do your research and find out, this isn't really a good idea. I want to maybe pivot to something else. depending on what's going on in the industry. So you don't waste your time doing a whole entire business plan unless you have the facts.
Wow, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. I love how you said one step at a time too, and that you're not alone. And so there's people out here, there's resources out here who can help you walk through and provide you information that's going to be able to make you a sustainable success for your business going into the future. Rhonda, thank you so much for your time, the fantastic information you shared. Don't be surprised when the emails start coming in and things from our master builders as we go forward. But just thank you so much for this. And that was some great information that you shared. Looking forward to putting that to good use as we continue to grow our businesses.
Well, thank you for having me. I really enjoyed it. And I hopefully that I will hear from some of your members.
All right. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right. Next up, we have the real deal Holyfield. For those who tracking with me, if you don't know her, then you need to start getting your life together, because this is Dominai Ford. She's the owner of Posh Doomz. And if you are in fashion, if you in retail, if you in anything, if matter of fact, if you in scents, because she's doing candles, she's doing Posh Doomz is doing candles. I'm telling you, if you have not been, you must not have been online for years, because she has a brand that is absolutely epic. And she's going to teach us how to take the idea and a thought and to be able to build a well-known brand and how to be able to monetize that brand as well. And so we're so thankful that Dominai is a member of the board of directors for Master Builder Academy for many years. And it's a strong contribution in everything that she does. So without further ado, we're going to bring up Miss Dominai Ford. Trust Doomz.
Thank you so much for that introduction. It was great. I knew you was going to do it up for me. Good morning, Master Builders. My name is Dominai Ford. I am the owner of Posh Doomz. We are an online women's boutique. We specialize in women's clothing, sizes small to 4X, and also home scents and home decor. Today, I'm going to talk to you guys about turning that idea into a brand. Many of you know that initially when I started, I was doing clothes and only clothes. But then in the middle of the pandemic, I got an idea to make candles. I don't know where that came from, but I'm lying. I know where it came from. God gave me the idea. But that is what I was able to turn into a brand, that I was able to tie into the brand that I've already completed and put out to the people. So you have an idea and you want to turn it into a brand. You literally just start. I know it may sound crazy and it may sound like, oh, that's so simple. No, it's really that simple. All you have to do is start. You need to begin researching. What you want to make sure you do is become a niche master. Okay, you need to become a master of your niche. Whatever it is that you're doing, you need to make sure that you're the best person doing it. And if you're not the best person doing it, that's okay. You need to go study the best people doing it. Get you a mentor, reach out to different people to figure out what you need to do to get that idea off the ground. But first, like I said, you need to research. But don't worry, I'm gonna give y'all 5 takeaways to write down at the end. So next we have suitability. Suitability ties into your branding. Brands that have a distinctive look, you know them when you see them. What is your look? Is it clean and timeless for a fashion website that is very chic? Or is it light and energetic for a lifestyle and workout website? If you're a party promoter, are you using a festive and dark website scene with music possibly playing in the background? It just depends on what your audience is, and we're going to get into audiences next. All right. Next, we have actually familiarity. Okay. So this is your logo. So when you have a logo, typically when you see logos and emblems, they embody a certain brand that you're typically familiar with. So whatever it is that you want your emblem or your logo to be, if you want it to just be letters, if you would like it to be words as well, you need to make sure that it's recognizable and memorable. something that sticks into people's head. When you see Mercedes, you know that that's a Benz and they embody luxury. When you see McDonald's, you know the big arches, the golden arches. Nike, just do it. Adidas, so on and so forth. So you want your brand to be something that is memorable and is implanted in people's minds. So when people see your logo, they're familiar with you. Tell them to get familiar. All right. Next, we have reliability. Reliability is really key. With that, we tie into customer service and consumer expectations. I cannot express enough how important customer service is. I believe I spoke to you guys a couple months ago about customer service. Customer service is key if you want an everlasting business. There's no other way around it. And it must be exceptional, because if you are not providing this exceptional customer service to your customers, they will not return. So you want to make sure you are providing that at all times. What can your consumer expect from you? Are you reliable? You set the mission and the goal and the moral of your brand. So once you go out there to your audience, whatever you present to them, you need to uphold that standard. So whatever your standard is for your brand, let that be the quality of your brand as well. So if you see this person, you need to always be mindful, hey, I'm fashion related. So when you see me, I have to let you know these are the things that I'm coming with, okay? If there is a product or a service that you are providing to your consumers, let's say you have a formula and it's your best seller and you feel like you can make it better, so you change the formula. Can your consumer expect you to come and let them know, hey, I changed the formula. I know you guys liked it this way, but I changed it for this reason, and I think I can make it better. But can they expect you to be honest about that? Because then you now risk a lot of different things, such as, lawsuits, if you don't even let these people know, hey, I made these changes. So can your consumer expect just updates? Can they expect you to be honest with them? After all, you do need the customer. The customer is always right, even when the customer is not right. And as the owner of your business, you can figure out what is right for your business, okay? Lastly, we have visibility. So visibility is your marketing. Marketing ties in directly with branding. So how are you getting your name out there? As a personal stylist and a boutique owner, I'm typically, guys, not all the time, but typically I am, if I know I'm going somewhere, I'm a walking billboard for myself, because I need to convey what I can offer to my potential consumer. So when you look at me and when you look at my social media presence, it embodies fashion, style, creativity, whatever. But when you see me, you know that is my thing. So what does your presence say about you? What does your presence say about your brand? There are several ways to market your brand. Social media marketing right now is the most common way, right next to email marketing. And there are several programs out there that will help you do that. If you got any questions, hit me up and I will be more than happy to help you find those applications. But there are applications out there that will literally send those emails out for you. They will make those social media posts for you. And there's also social media marketers like myself, shameless plug if you need a social media marketer. But there are social media marketers out there that will create the content, put it out there for you, or you provide the content and put it out there. But you have to make sure that you are being consistent and getting that content out there. Word of mouth is great. Business cards are great. With your business card, you want to make sure that your business card is something that's quick and memorable. So it's really quick and memorable. But my friend put me onto this, and when she showed me this, it's about convenience at this point. So you scan this and my website pops up. You now have access to everything that I can sell you right here. So you get creative with your business cards, and the list goes on. There are many ways to get your brand out there, but you want to make sure that you are tapping into all of those resources. You have to get out there, like I said, to get familiar. Consistency is key. And remember, discipline over motivation, because every day you are not going to feel like it. Discipline over motivation. And that's what my mentor told me. And when I tell you, that has changed my life. So the 5 takeaways I'm going to give you guys really quick. So get your pen and paper ready. Should have had it ready because they was already dropping gems. But 5 takeaways. First one, research on YouTube. So if Google is your friend, okay? Google is your friend. So take 30 to 60 minutes a day, something that simple, and invest that time. Invest that time into yourself. I started researching back in 2015, and it's 2021, and I'm seeing the benefits of it. So, I mean, you can join us. So, like I said, 30 to 60 minutes a day, start researching whatever it is, because you want to become a master of your niche, right? So, follow or study someone who is successful in your niche. Because again, you want to become that thing. So, whatever it is, you want to make sure that you are getting the best of the best. You have no idea how many people it is simple to just reach out to and ask them for help on your journey, especially when people see you're doing the work. When people know you are doing the work, they will meet you halfway. Easy. So again, number 2 was follow or study someone successful. 3, get your logo. There are applications out there that you can, one, either try to do. A tattoo artist did my logo. If I told y'all what I paid for my logo, it was dirt cheap. If I knew it was gonna blow up to what it is, and I'm gonna take if I knew it would blow up to be what it is, my mind is blown. Like, you literally can reach out to anyone to get a logo. A graphic designer, a tattoo artist. Fiverr is a cheap alternative. I think they have they $5. I think they're $5. So if you want to check out on there, but get your logo. Number 4, write out what sets you apart. That's kind of like what Miss Rhonda was talking about in her plan. What sets you apart? What makes you different? Yes, there are 30,000 different clothing brands in the city. Okay, but what makes you different? And that's okay. But just like the bread owl, there's 1,000 different loaves of bread, but somebody's going to go pick up the Sara Lee instead of the Walmart brand. Okay. And you want to be the Sara Lee. Next, 5, create as often as possible. Now, when I say this, I do not create content when I don't feel like it, because if I don't feel like it, it's not going to be quality. So make sure when you are doing this quality content that you are motivated. Discipline over motivation once again, but you have to have some type of motivation behind creativity or it's not going to work. So make sure you're posting on your social medias and create as often as possible. Again, my name is Dominai Ford. And if you have any questions, you can follow me on social media at Posh Doomz on Instagram and Facebook. And, well, hello.
Dominai, Posh Doomz, how are you? Listen, every time I see you doing the work that you're doing, it trips me out. I remember when you first came to Master Builders Academy with zero confidence. And then I look at you, I'm like, where did all this confidence come from? Talk to me. Tell us how, your thing is talking about how you said, how do we get started? I just want to know, how do we get started with confidence? How do we get over our fears to be able to start and do something?
Let me tell you something. For those of y'all that don't know, this is my uncle, and excuses don't bless him. So what I can say for me, being up under his leadership truly has helped me. Like, it has made me go even when I don't want to. So now, even with me being up here to speak to you guys, I missed the meeting, so I got tossed into this, and I absolutely am grateful for it, because I will hide behind the camera. As much as I love to be in front of the camera, I love to speak to people, and I can get in front of people. But this has helped. Master Builders has helped me tremendously.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you something. Everybody needs to understand. A couple things Dominic talked about was one, getting a mentor, and sometimes you can't find a immediate mentor for exactly what you're doing. Master Builders Academy is a mentor all in itself, and something about coming together, being a part of this team, being a part of what this group is teaching, it's going to build confidence in you. And so I just want to challenge everybody. This is the place for you to be. And I want to also reiterate something that you mentioned, Dominai, and your number one, research. And please, I want just one more time, tell them how researching actually builds confidence. Tell them about that YouTube University again.
Because the thing is, once you start learning these things, you're like, hey, I know these things. So I get in these rooms with these people. I get in these rooms with these people that I think are just, so much more above me. But in actuality, all they did was took the time to research. So now here I am sitting at the table chopping it up because I know the same exact thing that you know because I took the time to research, and I'm only halfway in the game, and you've been in the game for 10 years. So
talk to them. Talk to them. See,
y'all
that's
better
the thing.
research.
Yeah, research. Listen, I remember when I was in high school and the teacher gave us a research paper. I used to cry. Like, I used to be like, no, not research. Now, listen, research is fun now. Like, literally, you can go on YouTube and somebody has provided a video step by step on how you do what you're supposed to do. Research.
One last thing I would like to add, one way to know if you are researching enough, your YouTube should be curated to your niche. When I log into YouTube, I know that I'm going to find fashion videos, I'm going to find true crime videos, and we'll get into that another day. But I'm going to find business videos, I'm going to find TED Talks, I'm going to find these things. So the more you do it, the more they start suggesting good things to you. So that's how you find those gems.
No, that's a good point, Dominic. Mine has two things on it. I'm constantly, when I pull up my YouTube University automatically sends me stuff that has to do with real estate, has to do with investing, and has to do with how to pastor better. So, like, those are the three things that's constantly coming up into my feed. So, anyway, thank you, Dominic. Powerful job. Everybody give Dominic a hand. We really appreciate you showing up, Dominic. Appreciate you now.
Thanks for having me.
Listen, everybody, if you haven't hit the share button, you making a mistake. Your friends should know about Master Builders Academy. Everybody, go ahead, take a moment, like, comment, subscribe, share. I just want to let you know, these people that you're seeing come through Master Builder Academy, not only, I think in 5 years, I think there's been over 40 businesses started from those that have come through Master Builders Academy. And so one of the things I want to make sure that we're doing is providing an opportunity, bringing people in that will help you grow what you're trying to do, that help you mentor you from the bench. Like, maybe we can't be there in your space right now, but we can mentor you right now from the screen. And today is no different. Appreciate Rhonda for coming in. Appreciate Dominai for coming in. But listen, we brought a special guest this morning. His name is Coach Vonzel Sawyer. And I'm going to tell you something. Coach has been in the game for nearly 30 years. He's been coaching businesses before they were calling them coaches. All right. I'm telling you, he's coaching. His specialty is coaching startup. And so everybody that is thinking about starting something, everybody that's just getting started, say, well, I don't even know if my stuff is good yet. We brought Coach Vonzel Sawyer in today so that he can give you some tidbits. And also, I'm hoping that he's going to drop his phone number, his email address, something in the line so you can reach out to him. But he's going to give you some tidbits about funding. All right, because one of the most difficult things and most scary things for us is, how do we fund these projects? How do we fund these things? So right now, I want you to give a warm Master Builders Academy welcome to Mr. Coach Vonzel Sawyer. Welcome, Coach.
Hey, it is good to be here today. Thank you so much, Bishop and President of the Master Builders. It's good to talk to you all today about the business blueprint. That is just good stuff. There's so many things that Rhonda and Dominai spoke of. I was sitting back, taking my own notes, smiling, and really adjusting to what they had talked about. So we were talking about startups and things like that. And just to give you a little bit of information about myself, I've been working with businesses for a long time. I've been working with churches. I've been working with small businesses. I've been working with even public entities as well, and sometimes a combination of those in a hybrid. So it's worked out pretty well for us to do this, and I'm really excited with being with you here with you today. So let's talk about funding mechanisms, because that's a big deal. I think Rhonda got into a little bit of that. And she talked about the small business development centers, which are one of the greatest ways you can go to get research. Like she said, it's free. Almost everything they do is free. It's from your business plan or anything like that. So you can really get going that way. Sometimes you're just not sure where to go, and they can really help you sit down and do that. So one of the things I want to put a shout out to Rhonda and the SBDC, because they're everywhere, and they do great things for people in business. So let's talk about some startups, okay, and things like that. One of the things that I always tell people is when you're looking to do a business, I can't tell you what Dominai said about research was so great, because the one thing we don't do many times when we start a business is think. And what I'm talking about is taking what you want to do, making sure that you record it either on paper, record it electronically, or record it even in video, and talk to yourself about what you want to do, how you want to do, who you want to do it with, how high do you want to be. You need to talk about a framework, or what we call a skeleton or a stick man, about what you want to do. It may not be clothed with all the flesh and organs and all that, but if we can just put a stick man together of what your business is, it helps you along. So let's talk about some of the sources real quickly of funding once you put your start to put your business together. And one of the things that I want to make sure and say is, as an entrepreneur, your job is not really just to build a business or to have income. The real success of an entrepreneur is to take an entity that is not themselves and to create what we call processes and systems and turnkey ways of turning that business into an asset, which can be later sold, passed on, or continued in some type of way. In other words, the business should get to a point where you can take yourself outside of it, where it doesn't necessarily have to have you to push it forward or to drive it. Okay, the business begins to drive itself. All the marketing, all the sales, all the operations, all the service delivery, all the quality, and all those things start to become an entity unto themselves. Okay, just like any corporation today can, in most cases, be purchased. If it means that you have to be purchased, then the business has really not become the business yet. Now, there's nothing wrong with leading up to that, because you have to be there first. The business is you initially, but you have to turn it into its own entity where it can be a turnkey. So like I said, whenever you need to sell it as an asset, that's when a business is really working for you. Until that time, you are the asset of the business and you have to make it work. Sometimes people think the product is, but product has to be moved. Product has to be sold and marketed. So let's talk about some funding sources. One of the best things I can tell people right now when it comes to funding is getting your credit right. Okay. Your credit is a key to many things that you want to do. Okay. So there are people who fund their business with credit cards. Okay. Now, the reason why you have to plan and research, like Dominai said, is because it's not about having that credit card. It's about what you do with that funding after you get it. So if you use a credit card for funding, you're going to have to pay it back. So you have to know actually how are you going to take the credit and turn it into an asset. This is about taking any liability you have and turning it into an asset. Okay. You should know things really quickly. You should know things about credit. You know, the main two things with credit is about 65% of your entire score. and I'm not just talking about business credit, I'm talking about personal credit here, is that you have to pay bills on time. And the other thing, you have to have what we call credit utilization scores that are good for you. In other words, out of all the credit that you can do, you should keep your credit under about 9%, really, to be at the tip-top shape in your credit. So utilization says, out of the balance, I only use this percentage, okay? And that way your credit utilization is high, you're making your payments on time, and that's the highest parts of the score. So why is that so good? Because credit is, whether you go for a bank loan, whether you go for an SBA loan, credit is going to become an issue. If you go to the SBA for what we call a 504 loan or a 7A loan, and you can learn about the different loans through the SBDCs and through the SBA, Small Business Administration, you'll find out that credit makes a difference in that area, okay? Credit will make a difference at your bank when you go to your bank to ask for credit. That's another thing. When you're talking to your bank, you should not just go to your bank for loans and for things like that. You should sit down with a banker, talk about your aspirations, talk about your dreams. In other words, most of the time, people don't talk to them till they need the loan. But relationship is everything. And if you can make a relationship with your banker, they'll remember the talks with you. They'll remember the spark in your eyes, the passion in your heart. And they may do some things that they normally couldn't make. Many times they have underwriters in the banks who will give special type of credit for certain startup businesses, and they won't mention it to you unless you have a relationship with them. So make sure and do so when it comes to your banks and the SBA. I want to quickly also talk about with the SBA right now during the pandemic, the disaster loan, the EIDL, is one of the best ways of getting your business funded for operational funding right now. Okay, if your business has been in place for over 1.5 years, you have an opportunity with that business. As long as you can prove the business has revenue, you can actually take the gross revenue of that business and receive up to 50% of your operation. Okay, so that's the EIDL, and it is actually, if you put in SBA EIDL in Google, it'll bring that up. Okay, and there's a lot to it, so I won't get really deep into it. But let's just say, for those of you that have a business that's doing pretty well during the pandemic, it's good. The other thing was what we call the PPP, or the Paycheck Protection Program. Now, it just ran out of money on Tuesday, meaning that lenders that are offering the PPP are not able to get their clients to the SBA right now in their loan package. But there's a silver lining. There's $8 billion in the PPP that is still for your certified microloan type of organizations, like your certified development financial institutions, your credit unions and things like that. If you have a low income, you have less than 10 employees. And when I say low income, I'm talking about the areas considered low income. There's still a portion of the $8 billion for those organizations. Now, if you're in Manhattan, downtown in New York, that's not going to work for you very well. Okay, but there's still $8 billion left. But to the majority of people who would like to do the PPP, unless Congress extends it, it right now has been cut off. But that doesn't mean that people in low incomes can't still get a portion of that $8 billion. Also, back to the EIDL, just for a moment, there's still about $25 billion still left. People are not taking advantage of the EIDL like they really should. So that's one thing that you need to look at and see what Congress is doing all the time. The next thing I want to talk about is sometime you can do what we call trade or equity sharing. In other words, you can give up equity for someone to invest in your business. Now, I will tell you this, equity is super important if you look for your business to be big. So when you give up equity, it shouldn't be just for money. It should be for money. It should be for expertise. It should be for leverage. And leverage means someone is able to take who they are and what they do, their skill sets, business, their network and everything, and help you in your business. Okay. So equity means you give up a percentage of your business to someone who now becomes a co-owner with you or a partner. Okay. Or you can trade. A lot of times you can take your skill set. Let's say I do bookkeeping or tax. I can help out an accountant. Let's say I do tax or I understand economics very well. I can help out an attorney for their services. In other words, you're bartering with your services, okay? And many times you can use that to help build the funding for your own business, okay? If you're a barber, maybe you have to do some extra barbering on the weekdays or after hours to get the money together to set aside. Many times a part-time job becomes a place of funding where you put aside the money. One thing you need to understand, when we're talking about a business, you're talking about a period of time, over a year, over 2 years, 3 years. So if you have to take a year to get your funding together, to get your credit together, or anything like that, do so. Your thought of being in business is not something that is a microwave. You should be doing something that you build over time that becomes a monolith, that you're able to take forward in a very great way. You have to treat your business much like a baby and grow it well so it can become an MBA player later on and take care of mama and daddy. All right. So let's talk about other ways. If you're already in business, sometimes you can do your business so well and be the best that you are. You can get with a customer and get what's called an advance, okay, or a royalty or something like that from them because they see you're passionate, they see you can do some things, they will advance you credit or even advance you even a loan or something like that because they understand you're doing the things necessary to become successful in business. The other thing that many cities have is they have what's called an incubator or they have an accelerator program. That's where they hold a contest together and they say, listen, we want you to come with your ideas and things. And if we think that your idea holds weight, we will give you a loan or we will give you a grant and then help you along with your business. So you can look at a site called Y Combinator. And in many cases, they know about the different incubators or accelerator programs in different cities. You also need to look at venture capitalists, okay? Venture capitalists are very important, but I will say this. You're really looking at a much larger business. It still may be a small business because the Small Business Administration considers if you're up to $10 million with less than 500 employees, you're still a small business. But when you're talking about a venture capitalist, you're talking about someone coming in and giving you money for equity in your business. But normally you have to be in the range of running more than $1 million a year, okay? And that may sound like a lot, but you can build up to that very quickly if you know what you're doing and you've taken the time to think and get some help about what you're doing in your business. There's also angel investors. If you go to a website called GUST.com, it will tell you the angel investors in your area of different cities around the country to let you know who is interested in investing, who's looking to be an angel investor. An angel investor not only puts in money, they will put in their time and network to make sure that you're doing well. When you think about Shark Tank, they talk about venture capitalists, but they're really angel investors in that they're going to put their self and their mechanism to work and not just their money to help you be successful because they're looking for a return. There's also a group called what we call things like funding mechanisms like Kickstarter and Indiegogo. And these are where you normally have a product, okay, which you're putting forward, okay? And Kickstarter or Indiegogo, what they do is they allow you to put out to their platform whatever you've put together as far as a product is concerned, normally not services, but products. And the result is people purchase those products. Indiegogo and Kickstarter receive portion of the money, but they give the money to you. The difference between the two is Kickstarter gives you money at the end of a campaign. Indiegogo can give you the money as the campaign is going along. So you might want to look at that when you're considering a certain amount of funding. Now, small business grants. I think Rhonda spoke well. There's not a lot of small business grants in reality, but you can go to grants.gov, and that's grants.gov, and they will look at you and say, you can consider if you're nonprofit, whether you're into software, whether you're into teaching or education, things like that. And grants.gov, okay, can be really good. Now, the thing I will tell you is about this, Grants.gov, when you go into that, it's a long process, okay? So whatever you have to do, you have to have an ability to be tenacious in searching out for your funding, okay? And when I say tenacious, 5 no's is nothing. 20 no's means nothing, okay? Get 50 no's before you start looking for a yes. Not that you want to get those no's, but understand it's about tenacity. It's about faith. It's about moving forward. Okay. So now the small business grants also, I want to say many cities and many states are now offering business grants or business loans because of what the federal government has done in the American Rescue Plan. So definitely check with your local state, municipality, city, county, and look at them for funding. Now, another thing I always want to talk about, because people forget about this, there is friends and family, okay? There are people that are saying, baby, we believe in you, and we're going to give you this little bit of money we have. Now, I want you to know, no matter who the funder is, that money is important to them. So you're literally taking their memory of you, their heart, their mind, and you're deciding that it's worth investing in a way that is going to give them back something, okay? There is no investment without risk, but the risk is really about your ability to move things forward, okay? And then the last thing that a lot of people kind of miss, save it. Yes, it may take 2 years for you to put the money aside for what you want. Be careful of people coming to you and just say money's everywhere. It is true. Money is everywhere, but it lands in the pockets of those that use it well. So sometimes you have to save, and we call that bootstrapping, where you're literally saving what you get, okay? Now, let's talk about real quick about the savings. It doesn't mean you just go get a job and you just save the money. Let me give you a quick example of what one of my friends did, okay? They had $100, all right? What they did was they went to thrift stores, they went to antique places, and they found out how to spend that $100. Then they went on to Craigslist and things like that and began to sell those items. They did not spend that money. They took the next $500 they got. They did the same thing over and over and over and over again. And the result of that was that they were able then to amass about $10,000. Why? Because they turned their cash into assets. In fact, I'll be truthful with you. Cash is not an asset till it's making you more assets. Okay? Cash is actually a liability until it's working for you. Okay? And that's an important thing to understand about funding, whether it's credit or anything like that. This all makes such a big difference. One last story I will give you is this. A lot of people don't understand how to monetize their credit. They just think about getting loans and things like that. But I had a friend, you can look him up if you'd like to. He did a wonderful deal with credit. What he did was he got a credit. He went on, I believe is leaseacar.com. He bought a $200 car. He got some companies to invest with him for each side of the car. So this car was $200 that he got off of, I think, yeah, it was leaseacar.com or something like that. And it was $200, little K car. So he got on one side, one advertiser, on the other side, another advertiser, on the back, another advertiser, okay? They paid him every month for doing this because he said the car was going to ride around for 12 to 16 hours around town and they would receive advertising. Then he found an Uber driver and a Lyft driver to drive it, and he paid gas for the car, all right? So he made money not from the investors. He now made money from the Uber and Lyft driver and paid for the gas and everything, and he only had to pay $200. So he made about $1,600, paid $200, had $1,400, okay, to an income because why? He took a liability, a car that we say is a depreciation, but is depreciated because it goes off the lot and the value drops. But the value is in your ability to take a liability and turn it into an asset. And that's what you want to do when you think about funding. And I just wanted to drop a few lines of that today. If you ever need any information from me, you can go to www, or let's do it this way, V Sawyer at targetrevenuemarketing.com. That's V Sawyer at targetrevenuemarketing.com, or V Sawyer at top revenue. Or you can go to V Sawyer at toprevenuecoaching.com. That's a good way to get to me. And the last but least way to get to me is always vonzelsawyer at gmail.com. But you can go also to my website, which is www.topcoachingrevenue.com. Thank you.
Coach Sawyer. Wow, that's what I'm talking about right there. That's coaching right there, folks. That's good coaching right there. And Coach, I was listening at one thing. You hit me right in the gut. You hit me right where I needed to be hit, where you said cash is liability. Cash is a liability until you can get it working for you. I've been preaching that for the longest. We got to get our money out there working for us. Putting it in the bank ain't good enough. All right, we got to get it working. So, Coach, I got two questions for you. One, you kind of talked about relationships. You said relationships are everything. And, what if I have an idea, a business idea? I've started working on a plan, but I'm not quite ready to actually get the funding. Is it too early to start showing up at a bank and start talking to somebody to start building those relationships, or is now still a good time?
I'll tell you, building that relationship from the beginning is super important. Let me tell you, I had a friend that actually did exactly what you said. They weren't really ready, but they started talking to the banker. And the banker said, let's look at a few things for you. And their credit wasn't right. Things weren't right and everything. But the banker was so impressed by the relationship and coming over time that they said, listen, outside of this, I think I want to fund you personally.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Because why? Because there had been talk, there had been tenacity, there had been this consistency, and nothing beats consistency. In fact, I will tell you this, Bishop, is this: commitment to continuity builds emotional stability. When I'm committed to continuing what I do, all those that follow me and are around me, we build emotional stability together.
That's good. That's good. There's something else, I know me personally, I don't just, when I'm have an idea or I have an adventure that I want to get started, I normally do not just go to one bank. So let me just put this out there to everybody. You don't have to have just one relationship. All right. I go to multiple places, and it's so funny. I can go to one and I gather up all the information, all the reasons why they want to tell me no. And I get all that information, and then I go get the answers to what their objections. Then I take it to my next relationship, and this time I have answers. Right? So relationships in multiple places is a great way to get started. Second question I have for you, Coach. You talked about, preparing and prepping your presentation. So, how do I begin to prep my presentation if I want to go and present something to a bank, present something to an incubator or an accelerator or some family member? Like, how do I begin working on my presentation? As a coach, what do I need to do to get started in my presentation?
One of the things that I believe you should do right away is, first of all, find your greatest critics that still love you. Okay. And take whatever you have in front of them and let them lovingly tell you that's not going to work. Okay. And allow them to bless you with that, because you need it. So I think of this more like marketing. There's a gentleman called Jay Jones, and he does Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, and it is great. He does millions of people all over the world. But one of the things that I like that he says is, I stop trying to build something before I find the audience which it is for. So in other words, he tries to pitch to the audience he wants to go to, okay, before he creates everything, because they will give him the feedback on what he really needs to create. So I go in there looking for them to tell me what I don't have, like you did with the bank. So now I now have it all.
Yeah. No, that's perfect. And I'm telling you, sometimes we are afraid because we know our presentation ain't ready. So we're so scared, and we're scared of feedback. We're scared of somebody saying something negative to us. You're scared. We're scared of a no. Listen, the no is it ain't the cross. It ain't a nail in your hand, really. A no is just that. It's a no, and sometimes it's not a no forever. It's just a no for right now. You ain't ready. So if we would take some boldness and go to somebody who can be honest to us, and then don't just go to that one person. All right, go to the next person. Go to somebody else. And what you'll find is your presentation will become better and better and better. The last question I have for you, Coach, is: are you available? Like, can we call you as a business coach? Like, I know you doing stuff all over the country, but is your work available? Can we seek out help from you?
Yeah, actually, yes. I do this as a business and enjoy it. But you know what? I even have fun. I've actually found some people who found me, and they found me as a coach. And guess what they ended up doing? Becoming business coaches themselves. They found out that, you know what? I actually like helping people do this thing.
Yeah.
And then they found out they started making money then, and then it just got so good.
That's when it's the best. Like when you getting paid to do what you would have done for free. So that's when it really gets good. Coach, we appreciate you joining us. Everybody, I'm telling you, Coach joined us at the last minute. We had somebody dropped out on the coach, jumped in at the last minute, and he has blessed us. He has done such a fantastic job. Coach, we really appreciate you. Thank you for being, listen, he's actually, Coach was at a Master Builders Academy. We did something in Florida one year, and Coach was there. And we really appreciate you being a part of Master Builders Academy, Coach. Thank you. Coach Vonzel Sawyer. Appreciate you. Listen, everybody, Erica is up next. Miss Erica Berry. She is the owner of Buttercream Naturals. I know you've been seeing her all over the internet, all over Facebook. And if you have not tried her creams and all the different stuff, listen, yes, it looks like a dessert. Don't eat it. It's soap. Right? Don't eat it. It's lotion. All right. So I want to just introduce Miss Erica Berry. She closes us out. Thank you for being a part of Master Builders Academy, everybody.
Good morning, everyone. Master Builders, this has been an information-packed forum, as always, but this was such good information. And yes, don't eat it. It's soap. It's not dessert. So you guys, we are so glad you tuned in this morning, and we hope you took some great notes. I hope you did. If anything, share this right now. If you share it, you can go back and watch it later. Share, share, share. Someone needs to hear this. So how do you become a member of Master Builders? So to be a member of Master Builders, the membership fee is $100 for adults and $50 for students. And when you join Master Builders, you are joining the Master Builders community, an opportunity to have your business highlighted on our Master Builders platforms, access to all the materials that are presented here at the forums, as well as an invitation to our private Facebook members only page, and an invitation to members only events, members only after parties, and the VIP status at the 2021 Master Builders Academy Hope Forum. The Hope Forum is just fabulous. So to sign up, you need to send an email to masterbuildersacademy.mba@gmail.com. And now, we began in prayer, and we're going to end in prayer. So just remember before I pray, if you want to sign up, not if you want, go sign up to Master Builders Academy, MBA@gmail.com.
So I am going to end in prayer. And again, you guys, I hope you really took good notes. This was a lot of good information. Lord, we thank you for each and every person listening to this forum and those who will watch it later. Send understanding, wisdom, energy, and ability. And Lord, we ask you to pray. We pray for the leaders of our city, our state, and our country. And Lord, keep us and our families safe and healthy. And until we meet again next time, may God bless you. Master Builders Academy. Thank you.